Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
Evening.
Welcome to our Facebook Live for the summer for July 2018. And before we start, I just want to say, in case anybody missed the news, Kathy here won the Dr. Kate Granger Care and Compassion Award.
I can't believe you're starting with that.
Well, I'm sorry, but somebody might have missed it, and I think we should make it
I
quite
don't think
clear.
anyone's missed it with you lot around.
And in celebration,
You did post it all over.
we did post, we did, to be fair. But in celebration, we thought we'd have a little glass of bubbly, didn't we?
Yes.
Cheers to Kathy.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Well done,
Very
Kathy.
happy. Thank you.
So, just to introduce
swiftly
ourselves, I'm Shaz, and I'm one of the volunteers.
I'm Kathy. I'm one of the IBD nurses at Derriford.
And I'm Lindsay, also one of the volunteers.
And behind the scenes, we also have Danny and Heather helping out. We might even pop into shot at some stage, you never know.
Because there's normally 4 of us up here.
Yes, well, we can slide along and Heather can come in.
Yeah,
Well,
we
if you
could
want-
Yes,
squeeze
let's
Heather
just
in.
slide along. There.
Sliding.
See, this proves it's live,
Yeah.
because we are sliding in. Heather is in. And I expect Danny
I'll
will...
just sit on Shaz's lap, it's fine.
Yeah. I'm sure Danny will get Heather her glass of Prosecco in a moment. We're just waiting in the kitchen. Right, so shall we go to our first question?
Well, we've just had a well done, Kathy, well deserved from Stacey. And it is very well deserved.
It is.
So our first question tonight is, have you heard about CBD oil? I'm at the stage where I'm literally willing to try anything right now.
Oh. Who's that from? Or did it not say?
I
Or can we not say that?
I can't remember who it came from, sorry. So
Okay.
I think it was a lady called Abby. Without saying the second name.
Abby, bless her. Hi, Abby. She's having a rough time. As you've done so much research on this, Shaz,
I've done a little bit.
I can say a little bit about the studies that aren't very many, but do you want to say about the...
I'll say a bit about because I've actually looked it up a little bit and I have to read some of this.
Well, she Googled it.
I Googled it. Exactly.
Google.
I just want you to know it's harder than that.
So Dr. Google
Not
says...
much. So, CBD is a cannabinoid and it's extracted from hemp, which is a plant that is the same species as cannabis. But CBD oil contains high levels of cannabidiol, which is CBD, but only trace levels of tetrahydrocannabinol, which is THC.
Well done.
So
Which
that's
is
the
the
bit
stuff
that
that
gets
makes
you
you-
high.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So CBD oil is available currently as a food product. You can buy it as a food product like hemp oil, and if you do, you don't have to have a license or anything. If people say it's for medicinal purposes, then they have to have a license to sell it to you. So that's the difference. And it shouldn't be confused with cannabis oil. Cannabis oil is very, very potent, very, very concentrated, will definitely get you high. And that's the thing that's been in the news recently for cancer.
And
treatment
epilepsy
things.
and-
Yes, that's
yeah,
right,
that's right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and that's the one that is currently not licensed in the UK. You can't get it in the UK unless under special circumstances.
That is my understanding.
Yes.
Very well summarised.
Okay.
As Shaz says, there have been there's a lot of studies done on the strong changing cannabis oil.
I never get called for these studies.
Not in Crohn, sorry.
No.
Sorry. In epilepsy and MS with some success. That I looked up the CBD oil in Crohn's disease, and there have been 2 very small reports done on it in 2 centres, about 20 patients. The results show that it's perfectly safe, but it doesn't do a lot for Crohn's. But it may help symptoms. So there's some evidence that it helps some people's pain, that it helps perhaps some people's diarrhoea, but there was no evidence in those tiny studies that it actually resolve your Crohn's. But no harm at all in doing it.
So,
no
because
harm
20
at all in
people
trying
isn't
it. It's
many
a tiny
people to
study, and I
trial,
don't.
is it?
I mean, whether they'll invest any more money in that, I don't know. But it's fine to try.
And
I think as far as Abby, I mean, I have some
Yeah,
sympathy
here we
with her
have
because
a success story.
I was in the
CBD.
same boat. There was nothing left to try, and I got to wit's end. So I did actually go and get a small one from. It's from Holland Barrett, but you can get it from other places. It's not cheap, but it's worth a try. I mean, I went for the higher dose, which is the 5%, They also do a 3%, but it's definitely helped with the pain. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I can't say obviously it's done anything to the Crohn's, sadly, but any little help.
But if you feel better,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Just easing the pain just helps with daily life. So
Yeah.
So how much do you take?
She
So
has a
it's-
bottle of 9, don't you?
yeah, we're nearly bankrupt. No, it's basically 3 drops under the tongue, and you just
Right.
hold it there for a couple of minutes and then swallow it.
Oh, right.
But it does taste absolutely disgusting, and I've tried masking it in things.
With
and
Prosecco.
nothing. Do you know I haven't tried that?
I think you need to.
I'm going to have to try that, aren't I?
I'll drink to that.
But if you can stomach it, it's worth a try. As I say, it might not work for you, but I think if you're at the point I was at,
Absolutely.
anything's
You've
worth
got
a try.
nothing to lose.
Yeah,
So.
it's completely legal,
But
and
quite
harmless,
expensive.
but it's quite expensive. I think that small bottle was $29.99.
Oh,
I
really?
thought it was about 30 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you are only using little drops here,
Yeah.
like every day,
Yes,
not
that's true.
a lot. So I mean, I bought that in February, and I've still got the same bottle. So. yeah,
Abby
still
has
going.
said she doesn't know whether it's all in her head, but for the past 5 days since I've been taking it, I have felt no pain in my stomach, and I'm managing to eat a bit better.
Yeah, it did
So that's
increase my
similar to
appetite.
you
Yeah.
then.
That's
Yeah.
Excellent.
So in our small trial, it's been very
2p.
successful.
But it's nearly as big as the actual trial.
Absolutely. There's not a lot of difference.
In our trial, it's
Thanks
been
for that, Abby.
100% of 2 people.
That's very good.
That's good to hear that it's working for Abby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it won't do any harm, then I think
Absolutely.
you know,
No.
So we can't say whether it's helping with the Crohn's itself,
No.
but it's helping with symptoms, and it's allowing us to eat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a good
yeah,
thing.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Right.
Another question.
Another question. I've lost weight again. My friends will think I'm lucky and I should just increase my calories and the weight will pile on, but it's not that easy. Any hints or tips?
It is a difficult
I think
one.
you should be on the panel of this.
Yes, definitely.
And all the time we do get this kind of, it isn't funny for people that are underweight and they're desperate to put on weight. And although everyone makes a joke of it, I think that's what probably annoys people the most. Because when you're significantly underweight, you know, it does affect your health. It can mean you're more susceptible to infections. And it's not nice to feel that you're too thin, is it? Generally speaking, calories in, calories out. If you're losing weight, you're not having enough calories. If you've got active disease, then that means you're going to need more calories than you think you have. So sometimes it's just as simple as if you've got active disease, you need to have more. And if you've got, some people have quite extensive small bowel Crohn's disease, they might need more anyway, even if their bowel is fairly settled at the moment.
All right.
We have a really good dietitian now. We have Lucy, who's on Secomment for a year, and now we've got Beth. I think Lucy's coming back shortly. And they do 2 clinics a week. So we tend to recommend anyone that's really struggling with their weight and that is underweight should see them with a view to sort of supplements, really. Most of the time it can be corrected with supplements. The thing about supplements is people don't like them, they don't taste very nice, it's that whole thing again. But on the whole, you can improve your weight if you do stick to some supplementation. And if you correct the active Crohn's as well, that can help.
So if you haven't got active Crohn's and you're still not putting on weight though, why is it if you're just eating, you know, chips and cake and stuff like that, that you won't put on calories like most people would?
Yeah, if you haven't got active Crohn's and you've got no, I mean it's a very wide subject, but if there's no evidence of disease at all, it probably is that you're not eating as much as you think you are, or that you're still burning off more than you're taking in.
Right.
Because it's a very simple science, putting on weight and losing weight. If you eat too much, you put on weight, and if you don't, you lose it. But the active disease does make a difference. So if anyone's got active disease, even if it's mildly active, they may need more calories than they think they do.
Okay.
I find treatments make a difference as well.
Absolutely.
Some treatments you need to eat a lot more to sustain the calories. I think infliximab was like that for me.
Yeah.
Whereas like veluzumab, I ballooned like a pufferfish. So
I would not have described you as a pufferfish to my love. I don't.
it's the only word for that.
Does that normally?
Prednisolone is a big one.
Yeah, exactly. So I think.
Yeah.
Like,
And sometimes we use
well.
prednisolone as an appetite something to increase your appetite. But again, it has lots of side effects. People don't like it.
For those who can't see, Danny is sat there going,
No. She also does that when you say to her, why don't you have some of those supplemental?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ensures and
The juice ones.
oh, the juice are awesome.
Heather loves it.
I like the shakes.
I like the Fresh Bin chocolate and toffee milkshake
Oh,
ones.
see, I have banana and strawberry one.
Oh, see, there you go.
They
just
even
the
do
actual
a wide
juices
range
are-
between
not
them.
Yeah,
They
the
even do
juices are bad.
cappuccino
The
flavour
juice
now
is
and all sorts.
awful.
Yeah. The juice ones people don't like very
No.
much.
I've got the apple juice one and the blackcurrant one in the fridge at the moment. They're better when they're cold.
They are.
No, they're all better when
They
they're
are
cold,
all
yeah.
better.
Hint or tip, make
Yeah.
them cold.
Yeah.
Make them
Really
cold.
cold.
Actually, we are hoping to get Lucy on one of our future live chats because I know she was
good.
away
Yeah.
doing stuff, but she did say she might come.
Both
Yeah,
Lucy
come in
and
later.
Beth,
in the
they're
year.
fantastic. They've got such a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
They know all about supplements, and they will take a detailed history. They will look very much at ask for a food diary, what you really are eating. Because a lot of people think they're eating quite well, and when they look at it, they're actually not eating that much. You know, so
I find it's the other way around.
yeah,
Do we really have all of those things?
yeah.
I'm
So,
sure it was a full pack of biscuits.
so good luck with the. We'll
Just had a message from Abby, says she'll do anything to be at a healthy weight. And then another message from Sammy Scott. Thanks to the Derriford team for their help with my daughter when she was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis.
Oh,
that's nice.
Well done, Dad.
they are
Yeah.
lovely.
We're very lucky we've got a very good team.
Occasionally you hear good things about Derriford. Not very often.
I can't complain, so I'm not going to.
Me neither.
Next question.
Another
Yeah.
question. What's the best way to stay hydrated in this lovely, lovely hot
The
weather?
wheel movements, but
Is this anything related to like estoma, or is it just general?
No, just general, I think. But we
Yeah.
can.
there are differences, aren't
Yes.
there?
Yes, very much so. I mean, most people shouldn't be at a risk of getting dehydrated unless they've got torrential diarrhea.
Yeah.
So, and some people do. If you
Torrential. I like the idea of torrential.
Torrential time.
Sorry if anybody's eating their tea.
Yeah.
For the image that might have brought to your mind. Anyway,
Shall I say
moving swiftly on.
diarrhea. Laugh.
Dinosaur.
Yes.
Can we just we just quickly go back to diet? Because Stacey's just come in with a question to say: is there research to suggest that diet is a contributing factor to the onset of the disease? Then
No, none at all. Is the short answer.
okay.
No. I mean, I have had people, having said that, I've had some people that said that they started developing colitis when they'd just gone to Slimming World and
Slimming
ate
World.
loads of fruit and
I
veg.
had that.
Yeah.
But I think it was a coincidence, to be
a
honest.
few people have said that triggered things off, but there's no actual evidence for it. So
We
tend to
actually
just
went
say
back
healthy
after
diet.
I was
Yeah.
like, and it didn't.
Yeah.
It was just coincidence.
It was just sort of-
yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
been to Slimming World or
There,
anything like
there
that,
are
and I still
certain
got it.
foods. Yeah. I definitely say there's certain foods that can trigger
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
symptoms
Yeah,
and
symptoms,
things, but
definitely.
Or make it worse when you're having a flare, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely,
me
but
too.
none that would suggest that it
none that would actually
causes
give
No.
it to you.
No.
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 Terry Bray says, "Hi Kathy, I missed your phone calls today."
Oh, Terry, now.
Oh.
I need to speak to you in the morning, Terry. Are you going to be around?
You have to type that back in.
Oh,
a
that's
minute.
right. Okay, yeah.
We'll wait for Terry's reply.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we go back to being hydrated.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So the torrential
So the
diarrhea.
torrential diarrhea. Okay, so if you've got significant diarrhea, which would normally be due to Crohn's of the small bowel, then it would generally, the advice would be plenty of fluids. Take some Imodium if you can. I mean, I can't comment on everyone's different. You know, if you've got lots of strictures, that's not a good idea. But if you've got small bowel Crohn's disease without strictures and you've got a lot of diarrhea, take Imodium, Diaurolite.
They're lovely.
They're lovely too.
I read somewhere that if you can't overhydrate, so you should be drinking about 2 litres a day for a woman and 2.5 litres
Yeah.
for a man. But if you drink too much just plain water, then it dilutes the salts in your body
Yeah.
too much, and then that's not good for
That's
you either.
right,
So
that's
you need
right.
to actually, maybe the easiest thing might be to have some water, but also a packet of crisps for some extra salt. I mean, that also
is
helps you put on weight.
Sharon's dietary.
Absolutely.
I
But
think,
obviously, you can get the proper things. But if you're sort of out and you're feeling dehydrated and you're thinking of picnicky things or something, maybe take a packet of crisps with you.
Don't they
with your
say
water.
it like the
Or an
sport
isotonic-
drinks?
isotonic.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yes.
it like Lucozade
Yeah.
Sport or
That's
the
right.
And other ones
Terrible
are
green
available.
one.
Yeah,
Yes.
not
Yeah.
the fizzy ones, not energy
no.
drinks.
No.
Actual
but the actual
isotonic.
like sport. The thing, usually the drinks that say sport on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we say that with if you've got an ileostomy, that's a
Yeah.
bit different.
Yeah.
So that those are the people that tend to get dehydrated. To be honest, people with an ileostomy that's quite high output. Generally speaking, average people with IBD shouldn't be getting dehydrated
No.
unless they're doing like a marathon or
Yeah.
doing a
Yeah,
lot of
something,
exercise. If you've got an ileostomy, that's different. And then, like Lindsay says, the isotonic drinks.
Yeah, I think if you're someone as well that you've had Crohn's, and of course drinking 2 litres of water is a normal for you, it's healthy, it's good, and then you have a stoma, you don't carry on drinking 2 litres of water a day.
No,
that would
just
be
come
my
straight out.
safest
Yeah.
advice. From experience, don't do it.
Yeah, because as Sharon says, what happens with an ileostomy particularly is you just drink loads of water, it comes
Washes
straight
straight
out
out
of your
again, yeah.
ileostomy. And that's why the isotonic drinks, Imodium and diarrhea, are very good for dehydration.
Or St
As
Mark's
a rule.
solutions.
St. Mark's, that's
yeah.
really disgusting.
It's disgusting, but it does do the
work.
job.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and it's cheaper than isotonic,
that's true. And you can make it yourself.
and you can make it yourself. Yeah. Keep it in the fridge.
Terry
Oh, like
says
there's a
yes, he'll be around.
Right.
Poor Terry. Terry is not having a good time.
Oh,
No, he's not.
Sorry for you, Terry.
We feel
Yeah,
for Terry.
we do.
Yeah, yeah.
Just briefly going back to dehydration, there's a great PDF that you can get on the Crohn's and Colitis
That's
website.
true. It's really good, isn't
It's
it?
really good PDF that you can just download. Anybody can go to crohnsandcolitis.org.uk.
just coming up on the screen now.
Excellent.
Lovely.
He's well trained, isn't he?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Apart from when he's wearing a skirt.
I love magnificence.
So we are just
Only
talking
upset
about
with it better than I did.
That's our murder mystery.
our murder
Yeah.
mystery, yes. Which was jolly good fun.
It was good.
But some people looked rather lovely in a skirt when they,
They
shouldn't
did.
have.
They really shouldn't have. No.
The living Britney Spears.
With a beard.
I think he'd got the best cleavage there.
We are talking about our cameraman behind me. Everybody doesn't realise who. If you've got any questions for us, we've got 10 more minutes, so if you've got anything, please type it up and I can ask the panel.
Yeah.
But we have another question here. Are IBD sufferers more at risk from skin cancer? I suppose it's
Skin cancer or any cancer?
skin cancer, I guess,
I
with
suppose
the hot
they'll
weather at
go
the
in the
moment,
sun,
thinking
yeah.
of the sun protection and...
No, not of skin cancer unless you're on azathioprine. So azathioprine and mercaptopurine.
Oh,
If you're on that long term,
Did you
as
not
in,
know that?
as in more than, to be honest, the risks would be tending to be more people that were on it for longer than 8 years. You are at slightly increased risk of skin cancers. What we tend to do now is...
I didn't know that. Oh, you might have told me and I forgot. I think I've probably been on it for more than 8 years as well.
Probably, it's probably a case of she probably did.
It's probably- It's more likely.
Was that at the point when you were like, just put me on anything, Kathy? I want to get out of this hospital.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, so if you're on long-term azathioprine, what we're doing now is we're sending people that have been on azathioprine for 8 years or more to the skin clinic, and they do an immunosuppressive clinic, and they check you all over. I have to
Next
say, 98% of the time, people are fine, but there is that slightly increased risk.
I'd like to go along to that.
Would you?
Yes.
Well, you've had a few
Well, I've had
scares.
skin
You've had
cancer twice
two
already.
two
Yeah.
lots, haven't you,
I'd like
in
to
a
be
year?
checked all over.
Would you? Right, Danielle would like to.
Depends who the doctor is.
Anyone that wants to be checked all over, give me a ring tomorrow.
You will not get another phone call.
Oh, I bet she does.
No, I will. No, so anybody on those drugs, there are the associated risks with the anti-TNF. So with Humira and those, there don't seem to be. It tends to be just azathioprine. But it is very long-term use. And you know, if you had no family history of skin cancers, we wouldn't be overly worried.
No.
Just thinking. No, because both myself and Danny have had azathioprine in the past.
Oh yes.
Would that increase our skin cancer risk now?
No.
Do you
I
have
was
to
going
be
to say
on
I'm
it?
in that bracket too,
Yeah,
so
yeah, you
no.
wouldn't go that whole- If you've been sort of had no skin cancers for all this time, then you wouldn't develop it because you'd had it in the past.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Maybe you just had mine, Danny. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My dose.
Got a couple of comments here. Andy Phillips says, "Nice to see you all on the wine." Yes.
On the wine.
It's
Quite
actually
nice.
I thought Andy, haven't you gone to Canada yet?
No. Or maybe he's watching us from Canada.
Mm.
Maybe. Yeah.
We're international.
Because they don't have laptops over in
They
Canada.
I'm so down with the time.
I bet Hannah's not watching them.
There's another comment.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's
pay
serious.
attention.
Nick Saunders says, "My daughter was diagnosed with Crohn's last year and following various treatments had some of her small bowel removed in February this year. She has since suffered badly with diarrhoea, which has resulted in her being in Bristol today for another endoscopy and colonoscopy, which showed ulceration in the small bowel. Do certain food types trigger diarrhoea more than others? We are trying to reduce this as much as possible until we can get on top of the Crohn's.
Yeah.
Thank you."
Fibre.
Yeah,
Fibre.
absolutely.
Fibre.
We were all saying
Yeah.
fruit and veg.
Yeah.
All the things
Yeah.
you normally eat to be healthy,
Yeah.
don't eat.
Everything that people say
Yeah.
you should have 5 a day of.
Yeah,
Don't
don't
go.
eat any of those.
Low
But eat all the
residue.
things that people
Yeah.
tell you shouldn't normally eat. Cakes, chips, chocolate.
Yeah.
All the
There is,
typical things that
again, on
child
the
will
Crohn's
love.
website, there is a good food.
Mm.
There's a food diary they can keep as well. On
Yes.
there as well.
Yeah.
The general rule of thumb is to reduce fibre, like you said. If people that have had a resection, did you say she had a resection of the bowel?
Yeah,
Small bowel removed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even if you don't have disease back, hence at the join, people will often have bad diarrhoea anyway because they've lost that part of the bowel. So a lot of the time, you will need things like Imodium anyhow. So it's worth bearing in mind that there might be 2 reasons why she might be having diarrhoea: a bit of active Crohn's, and also she's had a bowel partly removed. It sounds like she's paediatrics.
Yeah.
She's gone
Yeah.
to Bristol.
Bristol.
Yeah.
So it sounds like she's
So
quite young.
hopefully
That's-
they'll get on top
not
of the
that
active
good, is it?
disease.
They have a
Soon.
good team up there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just never nice. is
it's
it?
just not nice for
No.
kids to get it. Is it?
It's not nice for any of us, but little
No.
ones
I
shouldn't
know.
have to suffer.
I know. Miserable.
Bless.
I hope that helps, Nick. Abby's come back and said, "Kathy, did you find out if I can have the..." Oh no, can't say that word.
You're
Who's
sticking
sticking
them out.
That one.
Can't do individual consultations. Live, Abby. I might get sacked. I'll email you tomorrow. I have some news to share. A little bit.
Oh, well, if you're going down that road, you have my blood's back.
Stacey Bateman, "I'd like to thank Kathy for being great with me through diagnosis and beyond. I was 19 at the time of diagnosis and was put onto Macaptopurin, which put me into remission. I since moved to Oxfordshire and had a colonoscopy, which showed extensive colitis. Never had a colonoscopy with Derriford and just had a flexi, I believe. However, any questions you helped with and were so understanding, and I've been in remission for 7 years now.
Oh,
So
Wow.
thank you and keep up the good work."
oh, thank you,
great,
Stacey.
isn't it?
That's
You
good.
listened
Another
for 7 years.
Nice to
Yes.
hear from you.
Story.
It's nice to hear from
Brilliant.
you.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear success.
It is, isn't it? We probably
Yeah.
talk about doom and gloom all the time.
Yeah.
So when we get a nice
It is, it's
success
nice.
story,
And it's nice to hear from when people move away. It's nice
Yes,
to hear
and
from
come back.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah.
It proves that you can move away and
Mm.
still be okay.
Yes.
Like
I know.
moving.
That's a big thing, isn't it?
It
I
is.
would imagine.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
The thought, because a lot of people have to move, especially if we get a lot of university students, etc. And so many people say, I actually do not want to move because I'm so afraid
Yes.
of leaving that centre.
That's
It
right.
must be
We did it
such a-
last year because obviously my husband's is based in Exeter. So we did talk about moving to Exeter, because I mean I used to work up there anyway, but I said I don't really want to leave. I'd heard bad stories about the IBD team at the Exeter Hospital anyway. So I really didn't. I was like, I don't want to leave my team.
I think you do. You just get that. You just get relationships with people as well, don't you?
I went off to London for 3 years, but still came back to see you.
That's it. I did say, well, if we do have to move, I'll just come back.
Yeah.
I mean, it is difficult because not everywhere has IBD nurses, for example.
that's true.
There's a
They
big
don't.
campaign a couple of years ago to get IBD nurses in more hospitals, but not everywhere has them. And we've got such a great team.
And
you
it
do
is the
feel
port of call,
spoiled,
isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I never go to the GP. I only phone you.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's true because we've got the knowledge.
You know,
and we are the
yeah,
first
exactly.
port of call, so you know you are going to do
Makes
that.
it
I
a
guess.
lot
Or like me, if you do contact the GP and they go, well, we can't do anything without contacting you,
I
right?
get exactly
you
the
think-
same.
It's got nothing to do with you. I've got a bit of a sniffle. I just need you to check that it's not like a chest infection.
That's another common thing, isn't it? You go to the GP with a wart on your knee and they say it's your Crohn.
It's pretty it's pretty much their answer to everything. It's your Crohn's.
It's like there's a little label on your own notes that go, don't see this person, send them back.
Just blame the Crohn's and send them back.
Crohn's, do not get involved.
It is true.
Oh dear.
Richard too.
Hi, Richard.
Evening, Kathy. Congratulations on your award. Very well deserved. Crohn's and colitis, Mike. Kathy, you're amazing. You were great before I moved back to Penzance.
Oh, I think he's one of the guys helping to raise some money down in Cornwall.
Oh, lovely.
Yes, there's
Possibly
a couple
or
of guys. I think Andy and Mike are both involved.
I was going to say, just in case anyone, that was Danny just grabbing Chris.
She's hungry.
The arm comes
She
in.
does need to put on weight.
She does.
Just give her the whole
But she
basket.
It's got our salt in there.
Yeah.
If anybody's like thinking of going on holiday and they're worried about travelling or anything, we've talked about travel before, but just a reminder that there's Crohn's and Colitis UK has got some really good travel advice on its site. In fact, if you put companion.crohnsandcolitis.org.uk, then you'll go to the companion page, and it's got advice about all sorts of things, including travel. But there's also a site called IBD Passport, which is actually just ibdpassport.com. And that's got fantastic advice on there as well. Yeah. So it is the holiday season. If that's something you're worried about, those are two great places to go and get advice.
Yeah, and the IBD passport is brilliant.
Yeah.
I'd also say don't be scared to ring the medical helpline to all the airlines and just tell them, because they are helpful. And some airlines are now giving pins out, and you put the pin on, so staff recognise you've got something that you may need personal help with.
That's interesting,
they'll discreetly
Do
speak
you get
to you.
upgraded?
No, certainly not.
Can I get a pin?
That'd be wonderful.
I think it just means sort of if you're in the plane and you suddenly need the bathroom, but the seatbelt sign's on, they're not going to make you explain why. They're going to say yes, of course, come this way, sort of thing.
That is a really
good idea.
I don't know which airlines are doing that yet.
No.
I know Ryanair actually help. You can take medical bags. They'll give you a medical assistance sheet.
Yeah.
But that was last year. But I don't know who's doing the pins. It was just one of the stoma nurses actually told me about it.
Brilliant.
So yeah,
well, worth
looking
checking up.
into.
Yeah, worth checking up for
I
definitely.
think you can get lanyards from most of the airports these days as well.
Oh, right.
If you contact their customer service team
Right.
and let them know that, you know, you might be one of those people that needs sort of to be on the plane at that last second so that you've got that chance to use
still
the
go,
lift and stuff, or one of the first people on if you're, you know, a bit lacking in sort of mobility and things, then you wear your lanyard and
It all helps, doesn't it?
It does. Danny is making signals.
Sorry, we've just got 2 more comments that are coming, but it's
We'll
8
go-
o'clock.
We'll
so
just go a little couple of
we can
minutes
run
over. Yeah.
Melanie Jane Gardner. Oops, I'll be moving back to where I belong. Solomon got into King's College London. You're amazing. Congratulations on your award. And then another message from John Spencer Clark, cannabis oil with THC has virtually cured me. Any thoughts? Well, that's what
Oh,
we covered.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about that at the beginning.
We covered that right at the beginning
I mean,
of our live.
as we said at the beginning, cannabis oil with THC is the one that can make you high and you can't easily get hold of in the UK.
No.
So
No,
it's
it's not.
CBD oil, which is different to cannabis oil, which doesn't have the high in it. That makes a difference. You can watch this video again. It will be available on Facebook and we'll put it up on our YouTube channel probably tomorrow. So you'll be able to go back through and see all the stuff that we discussed tonight anyway. If you've missed the earlier bit, feel free. We're running out of time, really.
Yeah, we are. What have we got coming up?
I don't think we've got a date for. We're hoping to get a pig racing, but we haven't got a date for it yet.
No.
You should have just received our newsletter. If you haven't got our newsletter, it may be because you're not a member. If you're not a member, it's very easy to become a member. Go to the Crohn's and Colitis UK website and sign up to be a member. And we do 4 of these a year. So, and that's just from our team. Our team does that. So if you're in our area, you'll get those. But you can get them online as well. You can see them online as well.
I think that just about covers everything tonight.
That wraps it up. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes. Thanks
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thanks everybody for logging in, and we'll see you in a couple of months.
Yes.
Okay. Bye.